Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I want to give my thoughts on a couple of subjects that I've been thinking about for at least a day and a half on one other topic. And so I definitely want to give my thoughts because I feel like it is something much deeper than just what we see on the surface. Now, before we get into these two topics, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. Even if you were to hit the dislike button, either one of those work the same, meaning that YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing the various topics that come about from Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would love to have you. And everything that I'm saying here is definitely alleged and just my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So with this first topic, you can see that I have images of both Carlos King as well as Sherelle from Sherelle's World. Sherelle is a very popular, highly successful YouTuber. I, for one, have watched her for years, definitely for Real Housewives tea. She is hilarious, and she's always had really cool panels over the years. And so Carlos King, we know him as, executive producer of various reality TV shows, including Love and Marriage Huntsville. So just as recent as last night, it's been reported that Sherelle's World has made a video, of course, calling out Carlos King for reportedly striking various YouTube channels that are particularly in this Love and Marriage Huntsville sector. And she has even opened up her platform to the content creators who were struck by Carlos King reportedly, so that she could give them an opportunity to speak their heart about what it feels for that to happen to them. I think that that is very generous and very kind of Sherelle. I'm just really shocked. That would be the greatest word to describe my feelings. I'm just shocked by her opinion on this and her opening up her platform to other Love and Marriage Huntsville channels, just because just as recent as a couple months ago, she used some kind of negative adjectives, I'm paraphrasing, to describe Melometers, and she talked about some of the Love and Marriage Huntsville channels, they have a small number of subscribers, and I just feel like I couldn't help but wonder, on the positive side, I thought to myself, perhaps she just wants to stand in solidarity with other content creators. But then, again, she did say, but in that sector, they all have a small number of subscribers, and then also, I just wondered if she perhaps wanted to get Carlos King's attention. We all know the saying that some people do believe that any type of publicity is good publicity. So perhaps even if she could be getting his attention, sending out a signal on a negative note, perhaps she would be okay with that. He has been getting a lot of attention lately. Whether or not you like Carlos King, that is a fact. He has been getting some very high-powered interviews for several months now, from Nene Leakes to Kenya Moore to Latavia from Destiny's Child, and even more. And I have a feeling, he'll continue to do other big interviews. Those particular videos of Carlos King, they get views in the six-figure range, at least 100,000 views. So he's definitely popular and well known in the YouTube platform for a media outlet, for blogging. I know he does not like being called a blogger. But also he's been collaborating with Dr. Heavenly from Married to Medicine on a weekly basis. So, it just makes me kind of wonder, does Sherelle from Sherelle's World, would she like to collaborate with Carlos King? Does she want him to acknowledge her highly successful YouTube channel? That is just kind of the direction that my thoughts were going in when I heard about her standing up for the content creators who have reportedly been struck by Carlos King. I just kind of wonder, where is it coming from? Is it 100% sincere? It is such a 360 turnaround from her sentiments just in December and several months before then. When allegedly Martell leaked out some of the custody documents to a variety of bloggers, and they reported on it, including Sherelle's World. And then her panel, I remember being taken aback when someone kind of insinuated that perhaps Martell and Melody still may mess around. There were definitely Melometers who went up to advocate for Melody, on Sherelle's channel. So I'm just so shocked by this drastic turn of events. And just in my opinion, I think perhaps that she's trying to get Carlos King's attention, and she is using the Melometers and the striking of the channels to do that. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about, though, is Martell speaking. Now, shout out to Chef Don Don, and other channels like Brown Skin Girl, Scotty by Nature. They all reported on Martell, of course, speaking at this women's empowerment epitome of a woman showcase. It's going to be held next weekend, Saturday, February 24th. So we know he won't be in Atlanta at the Black Expo because he's going to be in Memphis at the Epitome of a Woman Showcase. And it is hosted by its founder, Tawana Johnson. I know that you all know these details. You've probably read about Martell's bio on the website. I felt like it was outdated. There was like a sentence that I saw that was reflective of something happening in 2023. I'm like, oh, he or his team, they have to like proofread his bio before they send it out for things that are on a timely level. He has to like edit it. But anyway, I want to talk about on a deeper level how problematic this is. Now, we've talked about spirituality and our upbringing here on show Style and Spirit, right? I've said it quite a few times. I grew up in a strict household. My parents are Southern. We grew up Baptist. My dad was a deacon, and my parents were married for 49 years when my mom died. So, yeah, very traditional household. So I say that to say, with going to church, growing up in a Baptist church, I know this is not a church event, but in the women's ministry, you have similar events like a women's day brunch, an entire weekend, a conference of workshops. And I've just, not very often can I think of like a man speaking at a women's empowerment event. That's number one. I just think of like getting powerhouse female speakers. It's nothing like looking at the itinerary, the program, the church program. That's a big deal. You want to get the names right, get the pictures, the bios. And you see like a Black female judge, Black female attorney, Black female entrepreneurs, and they look beautiful. And, they're speaking and someone gives their introduction. So it's just so interesting that a man is going to be a part of a women's empowerment event. That is number one that struck to me as odd, just in my opinion. And then out of all of the men that you could book, of course, it's Martell Holt. Just putting aside the fact that he is divorced, but everything that led up to the divorce, and then the recent arrest and the charges, and the things that he has said, why would you want to have women listen to him? It's just giving like brainwashing ceremony here, in my opinion, because you don't want to transform a bunch of women of any age, but especially like if they're like undergrad age, just in their 20s, they want to be married, they're praying to God for husbands, they're involved in the singles ministry at their church, they are waiting on God to send them a spouse, like they don't need to hear from Martell. You don't want to transform them into pick-me's. That's just so not the way to go, and not what life was meant for them. I don't have any kids. I've said that lots of times too, but if I had a daughter, I would certainly say to her, you are worthy of all of your heart's desires. I hope you meet the right one who will treat you with respect and who's bringing just as much, if not more, to the table as you. But I would teach her to be self sufficient and independent. And I would teach her why you don't get caught up into guys, like this one. That's what I would teach. So to actually bring him to a platform where the women are paying for the tickets to be empowered, I am just astonished. So, like, I work during the day, of course, right? I'm a working woman. And I remember seeing this live by Chef Don Don. And I was like, at my desk working, so I couldn't really engage, but I saw Chef Don Don's title and it just tickled me so because he said, I know you effing lying. It was the acronym, of course. He said, Martell is speaking at a women's empowerment event. And I was like, what in the world? I definitely have to check this out after I'm done with work and I can focus. But it's almost laughable, but on a serious note, it's really reflective of how we really have to uplift women. And I hate to say it, but you really have to promote self-sufficiency. And if he comes, not Martell, but the right one, that's an addition to your life. But you do not start at the below basic level with just wanting a guy, you know, who will cheat after producing a beautiful family and then producing a kid just to say because you're not satisfying him orally and just trying to be embarrassing, reportedly, allegedly threatening with the revenge. It's one thing if you booked him, if this was 2018 and you booked him, but it's 2024 after 6 seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like, where does this come from? I do not understand. And like, if I had a daughter, like, I would want to buy her first diamond. I would want to show her every month, like, this is the mortgage statement. It would be me showing it to her electronically because I don't get it in the physical mail. But I would say, these are the benefits of home ownership, and you could always enjoy the house for a while, rent it out, or you could sell it and make a profit. You have to be able to take care of yourself. Education can make you more marketable. You can be more competitive for a position on a job. You want to pay your bills on time. You want to save as much as you can so you can purchase, have money for a rainy day, all of that. And then if the guy comes, that's an addition. That's what I would teach. But to bring him on as a speaker, in my opinion, it just kind of sets the whole women empowerment movement back, like way back. But I want to know from you all, what do you all think about these two topics? Do you find Sherelle from Sherelle's World to be sincere, or do you think she wants to get Carlos's attention? Do you think she may flip on the Melometers again? And definitely you all are forgiving people, okay? Because, maybe there's different levels to being a Melometer, because this Melometer, I just kind of got like my antennas up, like, what's going on over here? So I have to continue to watch, SW and Carlos King in this whole situation and see what happens. I don't think he's going to really give a comment. They might discuss it Monday night when he and Dr. Heavenly review tomorrow's episode of Married to Medicine. They may discuss it. I could see Dr. Heavenly just being forthcoming and talking about it. And then Carlos will probably make a quick comment, perhaps. But I just have to continue watching it because I just question the sincerity. And then what do you think about Martell speaking at the Epitome of a Woman showcase? I just feel like that could just be so problematic. What if there are young working Black women in their 20s whom they've been in college the past 5 years and they have not had a chance to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville? They're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, and he has his own wine business and he's been on a reality TV show and at least he's been married. I used to think like that. Like, I don't know if you all have ever heard of Brene Brown. She's like a life coach and an author. And she talks about showing empathy, how you should just basically listen to people, not judge them, and let them talk, let them get things off of their mind, off of their chest. And she was saying that, if a person comes to you and says, like, my marriage is crumbling, my spouse is cheating, you shouldn't say things like, well, at least you're married. And I had to self-review because I'm like, oh my gosh, Ebony, I've said that before to friends. Well, like I've said, like, focus on the positive. He may change for the better. He's not all that bad. He did get married. You are married, and then now I realize that that was so problematic. But that was like when I was still a people pleasing Ebony, growing up in that strict traditional household. It definitely has its benefits, right? Because at the same time, it taught me self-sufficiency, because I have yet to meet a man who was like hardworking. Like, my dad worked 2 jobs for dozens of years. He provided for us. He was, he was strict, and a lot of times he was intense. He was this Alabama Black man and always working, has this large family to provide for. He was intense. But, like, I'm not looking for a man that's got his hand out, because Daddy worked 2 jobs for dozens of years and provided for us. But at the same time, growing up in that traditional household, it can turn you into a people pleaser, because you have to go to college, you have to get a bachelor's degree, you get married, and then you have the kids, and then you know what I'm saying, because it's just drilled into you. So that's how, like, if I was in my 20s and I had been in college for 4.5 years and I hadn't seen the show, and I see Martell at this event, oh my gosh. And it just adds to that people pleasing mindset, dare I say it, pick me, and then you have to get delivered. I have been delivered. So definitely, I thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button on this video. It's a free way to support the channel, and it would mean so much to me. And please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit if you have not already done so. I will talk with you all soon, and take good care. Bye.